You are Locked On Dolphins Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up, Fins fan? Welcome to your Dolphins Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. My name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Gries, and man, oh man, what a way to start the season. And every season in the Mike McDaniel era had started with a victory until today. 4-0 heading into opening day was McDaniel. So much optimism heading in. We didn't know what we'd get from Tyreek Hill. Jalen Waddle held back most of the preseason, as was much of the first team offense. And of course, we didn't know what we'd get. All the players coming back from injury on defense, the offensive line, question marks coming in, and all sorts of things to worry about there. And yeah, we had a lot of concerns and worries coming into this game. Turns out they were all founded, and then some. Either that or the Indianapolis Colts are going to be one hell of a team. Could be both. 33-8, the final. The Dolphins get dominated. They get decimated. They get outcoached. They get outclassed. They get run right off that field by Daniel Jones. Yeah, and the Indianapolis Colts. Now, think about that first half, right? Tua Tagovailoa, 3 turnovers. 3 turnovers in the game today. He had an interception and a fumble in the first half, 3 sacks as well. The Miami Dolphins, one of the worst first halves in franchise history offensively. Defensively, held them to 2 field goals on their 4 drives that they scored on in the first half. Otherwise, it would have been a complete bloodbath. Not that it wasn't already, but man, that first half, it was 3-0 at the end of the first quarter. Defense holding to a field goal, Colts sustaining drives. They picked up first down after first down after first down. The Dolphin defense only forced them to punt 1 time in the entire first half. And guess what happened on that punt? A penalty on Matthew Judon running into the kicker on 4th and 3, gives the Colts first down. They go down and score on that drive. So kudos to the defense. Props to the defense for holding the Colts to field goals on 2 of those drives. Keep in mind the Colts had short fields twice because of a fumble and an interception by Tua. Interception was not a short field. The Dolphins were actually moving the ball. It was their first drive. He overshoots Tyreek Hill on a curl, running across from left to right, overthrows him, intercepted, and that's just kind of how the day started, and it just kept going. Next drive, Tua hit hard, didn't even see the guy coming, fumbles the ball, right? And so then the Colts take that in and score. So 17 second quarter points for the Colts, 20-0 Indy at halftime, and that was pretty much all she wrote. 33-8, the final. Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries. This is your Dolphins Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first watch or listen live on YouTube right after the game. Then we upload, you download Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, Roku, over-the-top television, OTT. It's free on there as well. We're just getting started with your Dolphins Postcast, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries. 33-8, Indy. The ups, the downs, the ins and outs. Oh, boy, Miami. Dolphins Postcast. Let's roll.
This is what you'll be talking about.
I mean, what do I start with? Where do I go first in this game? Obviously, it's Tua Tagovailoa, and you're Miami Dolphins, and you think about the score, 33-8. You think about how no phase really went well for Miami today, but how about Tua? 14 of 23, 114 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 3 sacks. And I could go ad nauseum through all the numbers, and you guys know the numbers. I've written them down. I could go through them over and over again. The domination by the Indianapolis Colts, the team stats, obviously completely one-sided, but I had to start with Tua because that's where it started, and that's where it ended. James Daniels hurt his pec today, wasn't even the ankle. So the offensive line decimated by injuries. We know that. They were a real question mark coming into the season. We talked about it in the preseason when Tua was getting hit, when he was getting sacked. He took some big shots today, 2 of them up in that head and neck area, a couple of them blindside shots. He got blasted a couple times today, so at least came out of there with Tua healthy, if you want to feel good about that. They finally took him out late, although he was in the game when it was long past decided. So anyway, take that for what it's worth. Dolphins, no running game at all either. You can well imagine that, Tua completely outplayed by Daniel Jones, by the way, the guy who the Giants gave up on, 22 of 29, 272, a touchdown for Daniel Jones, who had 2 rushing touchdowns, 26 yards on the ground. So, look, he almost outgained Achane. Not really. Achane had 7 carries, 55 yards long of 26. And that was one real bright spot for the Dolphins. Zach Wilson came on 5 of 8 in garbage duty. Tyreek Hill 4 for 40, Waddle 4 for 30, but not really utilizing the weapons because Tua had no time. And whether you want to blame Tua for holding the ball, whether you want to blame the offensive line, whether you want to blame the system. And look, Mike McDaniel, and I have 7,000 pages of notes, but there was a sequence, man. There was a sequence when the Dolphins had the ball. And I want to make sure that I point this out. I have 1,000 pages here. Yeah, Mike McDaniel missed a challenge on a catch by Tyreek Hill. That would have been a first down. This is the fourth quarter, right? They ran the whole play clock down, hit 0. The officials missed the delay of game. So they miss a replay on Tyreek Hill. And by the way, I thought McDaniel could have challenged a couple of the Colts catches earlier in the game. Didn't challenge them. And this one, he missed a catch by Tyreek Hill. So when you're missing stuff like that and you're not challenging things, you're starting to look inept in ways as a coach, right? And by the way, smash that like, that subscribe. You know what I mean? Come on in the comments and chat with each other. I'm not going to have time to hop in there and talk to you in the chat with the comments. And then we upload, you download Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, and then, of course, Roku. Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries. Kyle, of course, does Locked On Dolphins podcast. We're on the same team. A like for me, a comment, any of those things goes to him, goes to the channel on all the channels and platforms that we're on here today. I'm Jim Grieshaber. Call me Gries, 33-8. The Colts beat the Dolphins. So McDaniel misses a challenge on a Tyreek Hill catch, missed a couple challenges, I thought, earlier on Colts receptions as well. But this sequence in particular, he misses the challenge on the Cheetahs catch against the sideline. Okay, and you're trying to come back, right? Late. And then you run the play clock down. It hits 0. The officials miss the call. 12 players in the huddle on third down, you get a penalty. 12 players in the huddle. So you miss a challenge, you run the play clock all the way down, then you get a penalty for 12 players in the huddle a couple of plays later. What are they doing out there, man? What are they doing? And then Tua throws a touchdown to Achane. Credit to the players for being able to play through this ineptitude out there. And then Tua takes a timeout on the damn 2-point conversion with 6:21 left in the game. And keep in mind, it's 30-8 at that point, right? So what are they doing out there, man? What are they doing? They looked lost. They looked confused. The line looked confused. The coach looked confused. The quarterback looked confused. Everybody looked confused except for the weapons who are going, throw me the damn ball. And I know Waller was out. And I know Storm Duck on defense got hurt. And again, props to the defense that it wasn't way worse than it ended up being. But that one series of ineptitude on the part of Mike McDaniel and the coaching staff cannot happen, especially when you're on the hot seat. Think about going back to last year. So many people picking the Dolphins to be a dark horse to maybe go to the Super Bowl, Tua an MVP candidate, coming off that 0-3 campaign, feeling so good, so positive, so amped up. In over 2 years, Christian Wilkins is gone. Jalen Ramsey's gone. You know what I mean? The revamped defense, more team first, guys. We're going to be tougher. The defense was ranked 4th last year. They got stormed today by Indianapolis. They got bum rushed off the damn field by the Colts all day. And they did hold them to field goals on most of their drives where, not most of their drives, but several of their drives where they could have given up touchdowns. So that was good, where they bend and didn't break. And they had a short field a couple of times. I get that. And they had just injury after injury to deal with, and in the secondary and the O-line. And that's where this was most glaring, both those units in this game. All right, Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries, 33-8 the final. I mean, I could read some stats to you. I mean, you probably don't want to hear it. It's part of my job. I'll give you a couple of them. Tua, 14 of 23, a buck 14, a touchdown, an interception, two interceptions, 3 sacks, by the way. And then the Dolphins did not score until over 53 minutes of the game had been played. There's that. They only had 78 yards rushing. Daniel Jones, 22 of 29, 272, a touchdown, only sacked once. Jonathan Taylor, 18 for 71. DJ Giddens, 12 for 41. Jones, 7 for 26 rushing. Michael Pittman Jr., 6 for 80, 1 touchdown receiving. Hill and Waddle, 8 combined for 70 yards, 4 for 40 for the Cheetah, 4 for 30 for Jalen Waddle. Jordan Brooks, big day defensively. Minkah Fitzpatrick as usual. But again, the turnovers, the sacks, Spencer Strader, perfect in the kicking game for the Colts. And the team stats, forget it. 27-12 first downs, 418-211. They're outgained. Passing 262 to 133. Rushing 156 to 78. Time of possession 38-43 to 20-43. Turnovers 3 for Miami, none for the Colts. And the most important number of all, are you ready, Dolphins fan? 0-1. For the first time under Mike McDaniel, the Dolphins are 0-1 to start the season. All right, Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries, 33-8, the final still to come, the turning point still to come, your player of the game, and still to come, look ahead to the Patriots kind of next week. That'll be more Kyle on Locked On Dolphins podcast. This is the postcast, and of course, I'm not going anywhere. Hopefully you're not either. Just going to tell you about a couple of the outstanding sponsors we have here on the program. Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries, 33-8, the final. Dolphins lose to the Colts on opening day. Why did Mike McDaniel and Tua Tagovailoa look so lost out there? Let's talk about it in just a moment. All right, but first I need to tell you about Prize Picks. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right means cashing in. That's right. With football back, Prize Picks, the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes all in less than 60 seconds. For example, I've been playing Prize Picks lately, and it's such a fun way to stay locked in for the season, locked on, if you would, right? It's quick, it's easy, and honestly, my favorite way to follow along with football as I'm watching. I love checking projections like Josh Allen, more or less 270 passing yards, Saquon Barkley, more or less than a rushing touchdown. You know, max discounts this week include Dak Prescott for less than 5 passing yards, Lamar Jackson, less than a half a passing yard, Travis Kelce, less than a half a receiving yard, and Patrick Mahomes, less than a half a receiving yard. How about those discounts this week? Projections, right? So download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. With Prize Picks, it is good to be right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's show also brought to you by Game Time. And obviously, we love Game Time, longtime partner of ours here on the Locked On Podcast Network. NFL season is back. And honestly, there's nothing better than being in the stadium surrounded by fans cheering on your team. But let's be honest, getting tickets can be a hassle between queues, login screens, and prices jumping at checkout. It's frustrating, and that is why I use Game Time. And who wouldn't, right? There's no question. The app that gives the advantage back to fans. Game Time is fast, easy, and backed by the Game Time guarantee. You'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. All the fees are included, so the price you see is the price you pay with Game Time. I pulled up Game Time in just a couple of taps. I see amazing deals. I'm talking about your favorite NFL games as low as $100 each. I love the app. I love everything about it. You can see your seats in the app before you even buy them with the panoramic views. Just move it with your finger. They make it easy, no hassles. Oh, it's so easy. The zone deals they pick for you. They get to know you with that technology. Faster, cheaper, and less stressful than any other way I've ever bought tickets. And look at me. My kids call me a boomer. I used to have to wait in line at will call, or they get mailed and you had to don't spill anything on the tickets. Don't lose the tickets. And okay, Mom, I'm good. So download the Game Time app. Just enjoy it with your spoiled selves is what I'm saying. Create an account. Use the code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, promo code LOCKEDONNFL, LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. Yeah, on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. One more for you real quick, and that is to tell you, and man, oh man, this is fun, right? It's really a lot of fun here today. Always a lot of fun with you guys here on the show. Dolphins Postcast fans, Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries, 33-8, the final. And we get a chance to tell you about Upside. Are you still paying full price for gas? Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use my limited time promo code touchdown and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You can make up to $300 a year just from buying the gas you already needed anyway. At first, I thought it was too good to be true, right? Who wouldn't? But it's totally legit. Real people getting paid just to make their daily commutes. And you can too, just like me. Plus, you can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Don't let this offer drive on by. Fins fans, download the free Upside app now using my limited time promo code, hooking you up. Touchdowns that code for a limited time, 25 cent per gallon bonus. That promo code, mine personally, from me to you. You're welcome. Touchdown is that code. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions for Upside on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. All right, Fin fans. 33-8, the final. The Dolphins just literally destroyed by the Indianapolis Colts. There's no other way to say it, right? Tua sink fins. Look at that ball popping out. That's the fumble on the second drive. Had an interception on the first drive, fumble on the second drive. The punt on the third drive. The just interception on the first drive of the first half, interception on the first drive of the second half. So give the Colts defense a lot of credit, but the Dolphins offense, they couldn't block anybody today. And Tua missed Tyreek Hill. They looked pretty good on that drive. The opening drive, it's a curl route, but Tua badly overthrew that ball. So 10 yards, and he had plenty of time on that play. So at least 10 yards. How do you overthrow Tyreek Hill by that much? It wasn't an overthrow in terms of leading him too far because Tyreek was curled back and running left to right. Tua's left to right. So it sailed over his head. When I say overthrew him, he didn't lead him too far. He threw it 10 yards over his head. So Tua inaccurate today. Tua indecisive today. Tua exhibiting all the signs, the hits, patting the ball, all those things, all the signs of being flustered, of being, I don't want to call him scared because I don't like to call football players or athletes scared during game action. That's not my place to say whether he was scared or not, but it is my place to say that the pressure got to him. He was definitely feeling that pressure, and it impacted him a lot back there. And it just goes to show, as is the case with every football game, just like the Hurricanes against Notre Dame, they were better up front on both sides of the ball. I told Alex Dono that on Locked On Canes before that game. You know what I'm saying? The Dolphins are not going to be better than many teams up front this year. They're just not. I think it's going to be a real long year for the Dolphins. I hate to say it. I don't want to say it, but it is what it is. Look, the final score today, 33-8. Look at Mike McDaniel. First loss on opening day, drops to 4-1. That sequence, he missed challenges today. He mismanaged timeouts today. What are they doing out there? Everybody looked confused. Nobody really looked like they knew what they were doing. Everybody seemed like they were outmatched and outclassed. Maybe even just kind of, dare I say, not ready to play this game. And I hate to say that about football players and teams as well. All right, we got a couple things to do and a short time to do them. And don't forget, Kyle Krabs every single day, Locked On Dolphins podcast. This is me, Jim Grieshaber. Call me Gries, Gries, at Jim Gries _ on social media. Longtime veteran Miami sportscaster. I've been on 790, been on QAM way back in the day, produced the Butch Davis show, the Randy Shannon show, did interviews with all those guys, covered all those teams for years, from the 97 Marlins and, the Heat when Pat Riley got there, through the D-Wade and Shaq title, and even the Heatles, and you know what I mean, going all the way back, University of Miami alum, 1996, the class when Ray Lewis, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, Warren Sapp, Rohan Marley, and all those guys. And in all my years, all this history, ever since Don Shula was unceremoniously run out of town by Wayne Huizenga and the fans, to bring in Jimmy Johnson, who also started 4 years in a row undefeated as head coach of the Dolphins, tying it back into Mike McDaniel now. Yes, I love that. And we are here now 0-1 after the 33-8 loss today. That makes McDaniel 4-1 on opening day. And man, oh man, just a rough go for the Dolphins today at Indianapolis. All right, couple quick things to get through and we'll get out of here. First things first.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Tagovailoa interception and a fumble and 3 sacks in the first half, plus an interception on the opening drive of the second half. So there's your turning point, easily leading to points. The Colts scored on all their possessions in the first half, 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals, 17 points in the second quarter, which leads us to...
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Daniel Jones, the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts, a big one for Jones, 22 of 29, had a touchdown pass, 2 rushing touchdowns, converting third downs, 2 for 2 on fourth downs, had a couple of sneaks for first downs, career day for the former Giant. Yeah, you definitely would not, oh man, you would not want to be Richardson right now, Anthony Richardson, for sure. And again, that final score, one more time, bang. 33-8. Mike McDaniel falls to 4-1 on opening day as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, who take on the Patriots next week. That's a 1:00 kickoff. We'll be here right after that with the postcast. Don't forget, all week long, you got the Locked On Dolphins podcast with Kyle. You don't want to miss a moment of that. He does stuff after the games too. But keep coming back and checking us out here. Give us a like, hit that bell so you know when we're coming your way with more content. Come on into the chat. So many comments today. We couldn't get in there and read them with you, but I know you enjoyed them amongst each other and with yourselves while we're on live, which is a nice little added touch to all the content we have here, which, by the way, is free. And that means free live on YouTube after the games. Then after the YouTube show, which is going to be in just a few seconds here, we upload, you download Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, Podbean, or anywhere else you get your audio content online. And then, of course, Roku. You're down with OTT. Yeah, you know me. This whole party, right? It's free on Roku as well. And if you can't get enough of the show, and you can't get enough of the content here on Locked On, thank you for watching and listening to the postcast. Thank you for watching and listening to Locked On Dolphins podcast. And hey, check out the NFL season underway, right? Get a double dose of the Locked On NFL podcast. Tyler the Madman Rowland gives you a shot of espresso to start your football day with Tony Wiggins coming up later, taking you into the barbershop for the smoothest breakdowns to end the day. Find Locked On NFL on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. That's all there is, Dolphin fans. There is no more. An homage, a tribute to one of my friends and mentors, the great and, of course, late Mad Dog Jim Mandich, who would be absolutely disgusted today, would not in any way be peachy keen. But we hope you are, and we hope you can get the rotten taste out of your mouth next week. The Patriots, 1:00 kickoff. Will be here right after the game with the postcast. Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries, at Jim Gries _ on social media. Thanking you profusely for being here on your Dolphins postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And as always, Dolphin fans, you know what it is. Keep your game tight and your mind right. Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries, and I am out.